What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 2 of the Rise Above podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm JD.
And we are back on. It's been a while. It's been like a few weeks. We haven't really kept our promise of saying doing bi-weekly, but some certain situations have came up with Tyler, with me, with some of our guests. But we're excited to be back on.
Yeah, we got a lot of big things coming up. We got a mental health awareness night on February, is it 12th, JD?
Yes, it is.
February 12th, and we're gonna be selling our merch there at the gate, and we're also gonna be setting up a booth for donations. We chose the Pete Foundation.
We
right?
did, yes.
It's out of
Pete
Kentucky.
Foundation.
It's a really cool foundation, and their message is the same message that we're trying to get across. So we want to help them out. JD, I accidentally missed the Google Meet we had with our AD, so JD's gonna talk about it.
So, yeah, we talked to Mr. Lewis, and we're going to have some warm-up shirts about mental health awareness for our opposing team and our home team. And we're going to be setting up the booth, like Tyler said, and it should be good. And all our proceeds are going to the Pete Foundation.
Yeah, and we're also going to hopefully have like JD said, a booth there at the game. And then soon enough, we'll be having an online store of our merch and that you can buy online. And hopefully that you guys support that, and all the proceeds of that will go towards the foundation. But we're going to be talking about how to deal with grief. We're going to have some guests come on here and talk about their experiences with grief. I don't think really me, JD, and Tyler have really dealt with grief on a level that some people have, but we just know that it is definitely going around in the area. It's definitely a big thing to talk about. It needs to be talked about, and needs to be talked about in ways how to cope, what to do in those situations, to have the right environment around you when you're going through those things. And JD is going to introduce someone for us. So, JD.
Yep, we have a very special guest on today, great friend of ours, Sam Davidson. What's up, buddy? How's college been?
Bigger high school. I go to a smaller college, Bellarmine, so my class size is like 28, 30 each class I have. So it's not much different than high school. You just got to study a lot more and be more on top of things. You can't goof off as much.
Yeah, well,
So
I
what do
love
you-
goofing off.
You're doing business, right?
Yeah, business administration major.
All right, I know we were talking. Are you gonna do like financial aid or financial advisor, right?
Yeah, financial
That's what you're
advisor. That's the career path I'm going for. I'm currently interning at my mom's work, Baird Wealth Management, and basically just trying to learn the ins and out of wealth management and growing money.
So
over
this is your
time.
this is your what, first year in college, right?
Yeah, my first year, second semester just started last week.
Okay.
Gotta chip this into paid internship.
It is a paid internship, of course.
Nice.
It's great. Yeah, that's the only one
Can't
you
do anything
need.
for free.
So that's what you're working right now. You're working with your mom, right?
Yeah, working
You're
at
not
my
working
mom's
anywhere
as
else.
an
Okay.
intern.
Yeah.
Her
Is that what you
financial
plan
advisor.
on doing in the summer?
Yeah, all summer. Just
Okay.
full time, 5 days a week.
Nice.
It's like a 9 to 5 job basically, but it's like 8 to 4.
It's not terrible.
Better hours, honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You get off earlier.
So there's really, all right. So we're just gonna break the ice. We are gonna get right into this. There's no really easy way to do this, Sam. But we know that you have a story with mental health. You have a story with grief. You've been through some stuff.
Yes, sir.
And we know that we texted you and asked you if you wanted to come on, if you would be interested, and you took that and you said that you would. So we know that you have a story, and we're excited that you want to come on and share it with us. So that's what we're going to talk about. What your story was, what you dealt with, and Tyler can go ahead and
So
start us off.
for those of you who don't know, the community recently had a loss in Alyssa, and Sam and Alyssa had a really long relationship, almost 2 years, is what he said. And a lot of people thought they were gonna get married. I mean, they had a really strong relationship that everyone loved. So it was definitely hard for Sam, and for him to come on and be able to talk to us is huge. So Sam, like, how was your first reaction? Like, how did things go
The first reaction to the loss?
to the loss?
Yep.
Yes.
First reaction is, I can't lie, it's denial at first. But denial doesn't last long. It's just, you think it can't be true because it's somebody that you're so close to and that you think you know everything they're thinking, everything that they're going through, but in all reality, you just don't. You never know. You could be your best friend, your brother, sister, your significant other. You never know what people are going through. They're the only person that
So
knows.
you didn't deal with denial as much, but like you had a little bit of it, but not on a like more of a.
It wasn't an
greater-
extreme level of denial. Like I said, after I found out the news, it was like probably a 30, 40-minute period where I did deny the fact that it happened, but after that, I hadn't accepted it fully, obviously, because acceptance is the last stage. But I knew the denial was over because there's no denying something like that.
So where were you at in your relationship with Alyssa before the event happened?
We were in a very strong place. I just started my first semester at Bellarmine. She had just started her first semester at Louisville, second year. She was a sophomore. She was a year older than me. And we were strong. We were happy. We hung out every day. I saw her 7 days a week for at least multiple hours a day.
Man, that's crazy.
And we were very happy when I found out that news, but it's just life. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
So how were things that day? Like, what time did you figure out that?
I figured out at 2:30, 3 o'clock, right in that time frame. Last communication I'd had with her that day was at noon, right before I walked into my 12 o'clock class.
Did she seem good? Did she seem happy with you? Or like, was something off? Could you tell anything?
I've read over our Snapchats that day because we text on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I have them all saved. I've read over those messages hundreds of times already, and everything was normal. It was a normal day. Good morning. How are you? How'd you sleep? What do you have planned for today? What's going on? Just the usual morning banter you'll have with your significant other. I'm sure you all know. And, drove to class. I texted her as soon as I got there. Was talking to her about how I was nervous, whatever. I deal with stress a lot too, but, it's just. And she was just telling me everything's going to be all right. Just she'll see me that evening, and we were going to hang out, and I was excited about that. And the last text I sent her was, "I love you. Have a great day." And I went into my class. And
so you were planning to hang out. You guys were planning to hang out.
Yes,
before.
we were planning to hang out that evening. We were talking about how we were going to do homework together. That's what's crazy about it.
So you came home from class when you found out the news.
Yeah, I had a 4:30 class my first semester, 4:30 in the afternoon, and so I was just shooting basketball, just past time because I had like a 3-hour gap. And that's when I got a call from her mom, or I had gotten a DM from her uncle, but I didn't have service to answer it. And so I went outside, and that's when I got a call, and that's when she let me know the news that Alyssa had taken her own life. And that really did hit me hard because I was at school. I was in an environment I didn't know. I was around people I had known for about 3 weeks, basically. It wasn't like I was with my buddy since kindergarten or anything, so I had to make a decision like, what do I do? I gotta leave. I couldn't stay there. I had to leave. I knew that.
Yeah.
So did you at all, like, whenever Alyssa's mom told you the news, did you like think for a minute like there's no way that could happen? Like
Yes, I remember vividly saying stop lying, and that's a terrible thing that
No,
I should not.
it's normal,
I
though.
should never said that, but I did. As soon as she said that, I said stop lying to me, and she said I'm not lying. And I was like, that's when it was weird. I didn't immediately break down in tears because I couldn't believe it. I was
You're
like,
just in shock.
it's a
Yeah.
complete shock. It is like I broke my arm, and that's the best way I can describe it. That's the only time I ever had that feeling again. Was I broke my arm, that shock, and then when I found out that news, it was just everything went numb. It was like I was in a dream.
Yeah.
So what on the way home driving, what were you feeling like?
So I called my mom as soon as I found out because I hung up the phone. I was like, I gotta call my mom. Told my mom, and she freaked out, as any mother would.
Right.
Any loving mother would. And she said, you can't drive. And I was like, no, I have to drive. I can't just sit in my car. I'm gonna freak out. Like I gotta do something that's gonna keep me occupied. And she's like, all right, don't go home because it's a 25-minute drive from Bellarmine. She said, go to your grandma. She lives in Sellersburg. It's like a 15-minute drive. I'm like, all right, of course I will. And as soon as I got in my car, I was off the phone with her, and I was like, no, I can't drive without talking to anybody. It sounds weird, but I just knew, like, I was like, no, I need somebody to talk to. And that's when I just want to give a shout out to Parker Pay. Like, that's my best friend since second grade. I called him, and I feel really bad to this day about, like, giving him the news like that because he was 2 hours away in Bloomington, like, doing his schoolwork. And he answered a phone call from his best friend. His best friend's, like, completely in shambles. And I told him what had happened, and he couldn't believe it either. It's denial, obviously, because like, he knew Alyssa very well. He was around her 5 days a week, probably for, like, a good year-long period. And so I talked to him all the way to my grandma's. That was when I started crying. It sounds bad to say, but I don't really remember the drive. I should not have drove. I feel bad about that.
You were in
too.
shock.
I should not have drove.
So
Right.
I'm really mad. Were you flying or were you just driving normal?
I don't know.
No vivid memory.
I usually get in the left lane on the interstate as soon as I get on the interstate because I like to go fast. Like
Yeah.
I speed a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I hope no cops listen out there. But I remember I was in the right lane. I wasn't going fast. No,
Okay.
I was being safe, and it was raining really hard. I remember that too because I got my car and I was like, "Whoa, like it's raining. I'm in this condition." It was.
So what was what was his really initial reaction when you told him the news? Like, what did he do?
He broke down a little bit. He couldn't believe it. He didn't understand it. As he was in the exact same boat I was. Yeah. It was just both like, why, what's happening, how is this happening, and why is it happening to us, specifically me, because that was my girlfriend. And he was just talking to me. He's telling me to pull over the whole time, like pull over, like you need to. And I'm like, no, like I just can't. And I don't know what I said exactly. I was just kind of like crying. It was like, bro, why, stuff like that. And he dealt with it very well, very well. Like I knew that was my homie and everything. That's my best friend. But after that day, I was like, wow, like he handled that better than anybody possibly could have. I couldn't imagine getting a call like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
So he came home for you, didn't he?
Yeah, he came home. I believe it was the day or 2 days later. He didn't drop everything he was doing, but he came straight down, hung out with me. And also, I'd like to add Paul Lindley. Paul Lindley was there as soon as I got home to my house. He was there within 20 minutes.
Did Cade come down too?
Yeah, Cade came down.
Okay.
But I was surrounded by a lot of friends and family throughout that.
Yeah, I remember hearing the news actually. Miss Whitlat's room. Oh, dude, my heart broke for you.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot of people, not just me, were affected by it. Like obviously she went to our school. We're
Yeah.
a small community, and nobody knew her like I knew her. I would say because I was around her like every day.
Yeah.
But it's gonna hit close to home for a lot of people because I know a lot of people cared about her. I know a lot of people care about me, and so I had a lot of like tons of people reach out and ask if I was okay, and I appreciate that. Like,
So would you say that was a huge way for you to cope, was being around a right environment?
Oh
around
yeah,
the right people?
coping for me was everything has to do with my family and friends. Without them, it would have been. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's it's a lot harder. That's why not everybody's as blessed as I am to have such a strong support system. Because I didn't have to go through it alone at all. Obviously I'm dealing with my own emotions. Like I said, nobody knows how you're feeling. You don't know how they're feeling, but we were all feeling very similar things. I can tell you that. And we just talked about it a lot. We didn't shy away from conversation. We had to talk about it. It's not something you can put to rest.
So were there ever like times where you just wanted to be left alone? Like you were just like, I don't want to be around someone right now. I just want to be left alone and deal with this alone right now.
There were certain points where I felt that, but when I felt that, that's when I would just be like, I'm gonna go take a shower. I didn't want to be away from. I knew I didn't really want to be away from them. I'm gonna go take a shower. It's gonna be 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna collect my thoughts. And every time I went and did that, I immediately regretted it because I'm like, no, I don't want to be away from anybody. Because that's when all the bad thoughts, like, why'd this happen? Is it something I did? That's when all the negative thoughts come into your mind. You don't. Just surround yourself with people when you go through something like this because people are great, as much as some people don't think they are.
So I was gonna ask. I was a little timid at first to like reach out to you and say like, sorry for your loss, because like after you get so many texts like that, you're like, dude, I don't want to respond to it. Like, did you reach that point, or were you thankful for every text you got?
I was thankful for every text I got. Don't get me wrong about that. But after about 5 hours of just nothing but responding to people, I was just like, man, maybe I should put my phone down. But then I was like, no, that's not a good thing. Then everybody's going to think I'm going off the deep end. They're going to think I'm struggling. I mean, I was struggling, but I want everybody to know I was okay. I'm not. It's okay to not be okay. And so, in a sense, that is okay.
I remember I texted you, I think it was maybe a day or so after it happened. And I texted you, and you didn't answer for, like, maybe a day.
Yeah.
Maybe a day or half a day. And I was kind of like, oh, man, like, I didn't know.
I mean,
I was kind of, my heart broke for you. Like JD said, his heart broke for you. Like, I was really heartbroken for you because if I was in that shoe, I don't think I could have handled it, like, the way that you're saying that you handled that. Because, I don't know.
See, a lot of people have told me they don't understand how I handled it the way I did handle it. And I didn't do anything different than anybody would have. You don't know how you're going to handle something like that until you're in that situation. I could have never guessed in a million years that I would have been put in a situation like that, but I was. So you take every hour, it's like hour by hour. It's not even day by day. It's just like how you can feel one way 1 hour, and the next hour you're just like down in the dumps again. It's the complete roller coaster. It's tough.
So at night, whenever you were away from everyone and getting ready, just go to bed and your normal routine, did you ever have the thoughts of like sitting in your bed? Because I know I do this sometimes. No, not about really grief, but just really, having a hard day. Like I'll start to think about something in my bed. In my bed is where I get all these like different thoughts, come in because you're alone, you're away from everyone. But did you ever have the thought of like, was I not enough for?
I mean, thoughts like that are going to come into your mind. It's natural human instinct because I was like her number one person. She was my number one person. We saw each other the most besides like our parents, obviously, because we both lived with our parents and siblings. And but we both made it known. We had great communication. We both made it known how much we meant to each other, how much we did love each other. So when I did have a thought like that, all I have to do is go back to my phone and scroll through the Snapchats and just read what she told me. Because like we were very honest. And
Yeah.
I have thousands of receipts telling me like, no, it's not my fault. It's not. She had problems that I didn't understand. I didn't know about. Obviously everybody's got their own problems, but I thought she was just dealing with like the basic stress of being an 18, 19-year-old in today's world. You know, like working multiple jobs. She had 3 jobs at a point when we first started dating, and she had 2 when it happened and everything like that. So she's working 2 jobs. She's going to school with like a full load of classes, and she's got to pay for her schooling by herself. That's a lot of stress for one person.
Definitely, yeah.
For a 19-year-old female, 19-year-old male, whatever gender you are, that's a lot of stress.
So were there any signs of her like mental health, mental illness in a way? Or was it just like you just thought she was having a bad day or like she was going through like a bad
see, that's
week?
what I always said. There were no signs of mental illness or having problems with mental health because, I mean, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm going to get emotional if someone upsets me. And that's how she was. So, like, if she was sad about something, she was going to get emotional. We were going to talk about it, and that was that. But I never knew she had thoughts of taking her life or doing anything like that. I didn't know it was that bad. I just thought she had her bad days. I had my bad days. She had her good days, too. It's not like she was sad all the time. I know that. She was sad a decent amount, but that's because stress. Like, there are a lot of kids dealing with that. You know, like every day they wake up and they're like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to school, but I have to. I have no choice.
Just part of being a human being.
It is just hard being a human being, especially in 2022.
Yep.
That's weird to say.
So,
2022.
That is weird to say.
after you had your friends with you, had it all around you, surrounded around a great environment. Were you in contact with her family at all during that maybe first week of all of that happening?
I was in contact with them a little bit. I went over there. Not as much as she was at my house every day. I went over there a decent amount. I knew her mom and dad, obviously. I knew her aunt and uncle, met them all. And they reached out to me and we expressed how sorry we were for each other, obviously, because they never saw it coming either. And it was just kind of like we were just checking on each other for a little bit. I think the last contact I had with any of them was like two months ago.
Okay.
But
Right.
yeah, they were there for me. They made it known that if I didn't have like a support system, they would be that support system, and I appreciate that for them. But when that happens, you want to be around your people, and I'm not saying they're not my people because they were Alyssa's people, so therefore they are my people.
Right.
But after that happened, I was just like, no, I want my family, my friends, and so that's how I went about that.
So, has Alyssa had a funeral? Have you guys had?
Yeah,
a
she had
funeral?
it happened on August 25th. That's when she took her life of 2021. And the funeral, I think, happened September 1st or September. I don't really know. That those 6 days was just a blur. I don't recall them very well. I just know that, yeah, they had a viewing. They had a funeral. I went to that.
So you kind of felt like you were kind of like you weren't. I don't know. You kind of had a different. I don't know how to say this. Like, just mentally, you weren't with everyone else during that time of
Oh,
those
no,
6 days.
I definitely
You were
was
just
not.
somewhere else. Everyone was just kind of around in your own world.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was in my own world because I was still, like I said, talking to my friends. I let them know everything I went through, like telling them about my day, step by step because I wanted them to know how we got to that point, like where it was, like what's going on. So I was just constantly trying to talk. Sometimes I wouldn't talk. We would just like watch TV, you know, just normal stuff you do with your friends,
Right.
YouTube. But yeah, when we were silent, I was more in my own world. I couldn't stop thinking about her. Couldn't stop thinking about what happened, and that's a weird feeling. Definitely at the viewing and the funeral, that's when it was the worst because I had no desire to talk to anybody, but I had to. Like, I mean, you can't just go in dead silent. I know how the world works, so I had manned up and talked, but I just wanted to kind of just see her say my final goodbyes and just let it be. I don't like funerals though. That's a big thing about me.
No.
I
I don't think anybody.
I
likes
would rather
funerals,
have
yeah.
a celebration of life.
Yeah.
I know, but funerals are tradition. Everything. I know nobody
Right.
likes funerals, but like, why do we do them if we don't like them?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So was that the hardest? Like, that was the hardest day for you?
The hardest part was definitely going and seeing her laying in that casket and knowing, wow, it's gone. And I still wear the bracelet with a magnet on it that she got me for Christmas in 2020. Yeah. And seeing that bracelet on her right wrist, knowing that mine's on my left wrist, that hurt me a lot just because I'm like, wow.
So did you only go up to the casket once, or did you do it multiple times?
The viewing, I went up there, obviously, hugged her mom and dad, looked at her, and I was like, I didn't want to stay long. I was just like, nope. I didn't want to look at her long because she didn't look the same to me.
Yeah,
She
no,
didn't.
They never.
She was
do.
not the beautiful, vibrant girl that I had literally saw 7 days prior, and that hurt me a lot. So I was like, no, I don't want to look at this. Why would I want to? So I would rather look at the pictures, the happy memories, like of me and her. But then during the funeral, when everybody walks up and out, I had a picture of me and her as one of my favorite pictures, and I put it in there with her and told her I loved her, and I stood up there for maybe 30 seconds, and I kind of walked out because it was the same thing. I was like, I don't want to see her in that state. I want to remember her in this how I know her.
Right. So, were there any other coping mechanisms that you had besides just a support system?
I mean, I love video games, so like anything to get your mind off what you're thinking about. I played video games. I played a NASCAR. I don't even like NASCAR. I bought a NASCAR game for $40 and I started playing it. And I was like, whatever. I was like, gets me passes the time. I played a decent amount of video games. Just watch sports because I love sports. I feel like anybody knows me knows that. So just anything that keeps your mind busy and not thinking about obviously the thing that's on the forefront of your mind.
Right.
Because the worst possible thing that's happened to you is going to be what you think about. So, I mean, that's just any human works that way.
Yeah. So like your support system now, how many months has it been? 5 or 4?
It happened
Months?
in August, so it's 5 months. On
Yeah,
the
so
25th.
5 months. Like, are there still people that just randomly ask you like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, how you're handling things?"
Yeah,
Like,
there actually are. There's certain friends that are like away at college. And, you know, they don't go to college around here, and they will text me, and they'll be like, "Hey, are you like doing all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks you for asking." Like Dylan Roberts, like we text just about every day. She, all the props in the world to her because she goes to Waynesburg. It's in Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
And she texted me like she didn't know until I told her. I'd tell her that was hard. I had to tell actually a couple people about the situation, and that was a really hard part. That's people don't think about very often. You know, because you don't think you have to tell people. You think a word will
Yeah.
spread.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta tell people. But she for weeks and like still continuing to this day, she'll text me and be like, "Hey, how was your day? How you doing? Need anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it." And Cody Wallace, he's hit me up a decent amount.
Great guy.
We know, yeah,
Really
we
good
all
guy.
love
Great
Cody.
guy.
We can agree on that. One of the nicest human beings I've ever met.
Oh,
by the way.
100%.
Agreed.
One of the nice human beings I've ever met.
And he's like the biggest dude I know too.
Yeah, Weston
bear.
and Wade,
Yep.
they both made it clear that they're there for me, and I appreciate that. Just Henryville's small, so like we all grew up together, and the main core friends I've had since I was like early elementary school. That's like they've been the ones to hit me up and let me know. Like Cole Pierman, Austin Phillips. I mean, a lot of you might not know Austin, but he went to Henryville till
Yep.
6th grade. Or
He's a
7th
great
grade.
guy, too.
Yeah, Austin's one of the nice human beings too.
Yep.
I surround myself with nice people. If you haven't noticed that by
Yeah.
now.
It's a good thing.
It's a good
Right,
thing.
that's
So-
something that we need. To
Yeah, no,
surround
we
ourselves
definitely
with
do.
that.
I'm all about the power of positivity.
So you brought it up. Have you like had people recently be like they haven't seen you in a year and they're like, "So are you still with your girlfriend?"
No, I haven't had that because I don't really mess with people that I don't talk to a lot. Like, it sounds bad. Like,
No, that's fair.
I have my circle.
Yep.
And I kind of just keep it to my circle. Like,
Right.
if you know me, you're gonna know about what's going on in my life. If you don't know me, you don't need to know about what's going on in my life. But I'm not saying that to the viewers or anything.
No,
Like, I'm
no,
just,
it makes sense.
yeah, I'm just sharing what's
Yeah,
going
if you're
on.
listening, don't reach out at all.
Yeah.
No,
Please do
definitely.
not text him.
You're more than welcome to. I'm just saying, like, I'm open to new friends, but people, I don't usually just talk to people about like, oh, so how you been?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
think we're all
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, just small. Yeah, I'm not into small banter like that. I'm more into deep conversation.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
That's why I like knowing people in depth.
Small talk is the worst.
Small talk is the
thing.
worst. I will agree with that 100%. Small talk is pointless. Let's get to the deep conversation. Like, that's
Right.
all it is.
I thought it was interesting how you said that you don't remember those 6 days from when you found out to the funeral very well. And then I'm just reading this right now. Grief can cause that.
Yeah, I
like
mean-
you're disoriented and things are changing. That's very
You're completely
interesting.
disoriented because, I mean, I still struggle with sleep from all this. I mean, I've never been the one to get my full 8 hours. I can't lie. I mean, I like staying up late. I like getting the most I can out of a day.
Yeah.
If it's just literally me watching TV, I feel like me being awake and thinking about my future, thinking about what I got to do, that's more productive than me sleeping. But like, I mean, no, sleep's healthy. Everybody out there, sleep, especially if you're young. It's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, those days I would stay up till 3, 4 in the morning, wake up at 8 in the morning, run on 4 hours of sleep, hang out with my family, hang out with my friends, try to go out and do something, you know, go out to eat with this person that's in town from college, whatever, or something like that. Just, yeah, I mean, those days, I really couldn't tell you what I did besides just kind of sit in my house and in my basement. Basement's where I hang out.
So were there ever with grief, a lot of people cope in different ways. They cope with some people don't eat, some people don't drink, some people don't sleep. They have a lot of stress built up. Did you ever feel that at all? Like your body just shut down, like it's just really tired?
Well, first things first, I'm a bigger boy. So, like, the eating thing, I didn't really struggle with that too much. I will say the first day, the day I found out, I ate, I think my mom made bagel bites. I ate like 4 bagel bites. And trust me, I'm going to slam a lot more than 4 bagel bites on a normal day. So that wasn't normal. But other than that, it was just, I ate normal. My stomach hurt a lot. My stomach did hurt a lot. I'll give you that. Because it was like, it wasn't a severe pain, but it was just like, like I have this pit. It was a pit in your stomach. It's like an empty feeling. And there's that, and the sleep thing. The no sleep, that's a big one. Because I usually didn't have trouble falling asleep, but I would choose to stay up. Then it turned into I actually do have trouble falling asleep.
Yeah.
So
like,
with sleeping, was she in your dreams a lot? Is she still in your dreams a lot? It's like, is that a problem of the sleeping? Like you're scared of seeing her?
No, I have had a lot of dreams about her. Like they've gotten a little less frequent lately. So I'd say maybe once every couple weeks. But at first it was every night or every other night. And I was actually very comforting. I never found that. Never made me mad or sad or anything. I would wake up and actually be like, I'd be sad that she wasn't actually there because it felt so real in the dream. But no, seeing her in my dream actually made me very happy because that's a way for me telling myself that she's still there. She's still here.
It's a legit reminder.
Yeah, she's still here.
Yeah.
She's still watching over me. I mean, I got the best angel ever up there.
Right, yeah.
Amen.
It's a great way to look at it.
So we know that there are the 5 stages, and you said you didn't really deal with much of denial, didn't really deal with much of anger either. Would you think there was the depression stage a little bit?
Oh, there was 100% depression. 100% depression.
Right.
I've never been one. If you know me, I'm a relatively happy person.
Yep.
I have a smile on my face most of the time. I love making people laugh. Love it with everything in me. I just like making the people around me feel better. And but after that happened, I was like just kind of sad. Like obviously sad. Just I was still cracking a couple jokes here and there, but it wasn't coming to me like I wanted. Like how I usually make people laugh. I was like, I don't really care. I was like, I'm not in a great mood. Why would I want them to be in a good mood for my jokes?
Yeah.
Or why would I want to spread positivity when I'm feeling like this?
No, I agree.
But that I wouldn't say I was depressed for long. I say it was about 3 or 4 weeks of just like, and it wasn't bad depression. I don't have bad mental health. I've realized that about myself. Like I know mental health's hard to deal with and everything like that, but I I don't have bad mental health. I have very good mental health because of who I'm around, because of
Yes.
how
yeah,
I've grown up,
right.
because of my life, and I'm so blessed for that. I thank God every day. Like I have anxiety, but like I mean,
Right.
everybody's got anxiety in some shape or form.
Yeah.
Other people just have it worse than others.
Yeah.
And I stress, but like because I like getting good grades. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I really stress about. But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, yeah, there's depression, the bargaining stage.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I
was
will
gonna
talk
ask you
about that a little bit. I've never had one suicidal thought in my entire life. Not one day have I ever woke up or night and been like, yeah, I want to be on this earth anymore. But I will say the bargaining stage was more like I've never really talked to. I prayed before, but like I just sat down, and talked to God, and I did that a couple times. I was like, man, why would you take her instead of me? Like, if you need an angel that bad, I wouldn't have killed myself. But like, if you either way, that's the way I look at it is God needing another angel.
Right.
And like, if you needed one that bad, you could have took me, just take it in like a less painful way. Like, but that's not a good way to look at it either because, like, I mean, everybody I think has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose.
Yeah.
And I still have many things to fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm here and she's not, and I will try to make her legacy and name live on. But through what I do, everything I do is not for me anymore. It's for her too,
Yeah.
because like she was my person.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think that you have become a better person than what you were? Like
I've definitely
throughout
become-
this, you've become way better as a person.
Yeah, I mean, in a weird way, I have. I'm a lot nicer. I've always been pretty nice, and everything, but I'm sure there's a certain amount of people out there that would disagree, and I'm sorry if I've ever been mean to you. I'm sorry if I have, but I've gotten a lot nicer. I just everybody. I didn't want to be that one person in somebody's day to where they see me, they don't know me, and I like give them a smile and say, "Hey, how are you?" You know, like
Dude, I can definitely agree with you on that because I remember and when you were in high school and I was let's say a sophomore and you were a junior, we didn't really talk much. We really didn't talk at all. And you would like look at me and give me this weird look every time I looked at you. And I would be like, all right, this Sam Davidson, does he like me or does he not like me? And then I saw you a few months ago again since you graduated. And you just came up to me, gave me a hug, dadded me up, and I was like, wow, I guess Sam Davidson maybe does like me a little bit, you know?
I mean,
So I can definitely say you have become more of, a nicer person.
yeah, I mean, I have. I mean, it's no secret about it. I'm just trying to live every day as positively as I can. And
Right.
there's no room for rudeness or being mean to people anymore. I feel like, I never wanted to be rude or mean intentionally. Like, sometimes I wouldn't really care. Just be like, whatever. Like, they can deal with it if I'm mean to them. And I've never been a bully or anything. Trust me. I'd probably say, like, a rude comment or whatever, thinking I'm being funny. But, like, there's no room for that. I think before I speak a lot more now, too.
So would you say that her passing has made you realize the value of your time on the earth? Is that why you think you've...
Definitely made me realize value of time on the earth because you don't know what day will be your last.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what minute, and yet anything can happen at any second. So every time I see my friends, the ones that I truly do love, I'll tell them I love them every time they leave. I'm like, hey, love you. Like, have a good day. Like, have a good night. Just because they need to know. Like, I love them. Why
Right.
wait until next
Yeah.
week to say it? Because you don't know if you're going to be able to see them again.
Yep.
That's one regret I don't have because I told Alyssa like 3 times that night when she left, or the night before when she was at my house and left. I loved her like 3 times, gave her like 3 kisses. And I was like, I made it
clear, yeah.
I made it clear, like, I love you. She said it back, and that was the last words we ever spoke to each other in person. And so that's very comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
very-
like, the last time we talked on our podcast, we talked about, like, if you're the happiest man on earth, you don't have, like, the capacity to, talk to someone who's, like, gone through grief or anything like that. Now that you've gone through it, you can help a lot more people. Have you had people reach out to you for, like, advice? Because obviously you've handled things pretty well.
I've had a couple friends go through some stuff recently, and they've reached out to me, and they've talked to me, like, I know this isn't, they would make it clear, I know this isn't comparable to what you went through, but I'm sad. And I'm like, listen, I'll talk to you. Sadness is real. It doesn't matter if it's small or big.
Right.
Sadness is sadness. You got to talk to somebody about it. And if people want to talk to me about it, so be it. I'll talk to you about it. I'm a nice guy. I promise. I don't bite.
So-
I'm there.
what would your advice be? So me and you are pretty good friends.
Of course.
We got really close during golf season.
Yes,
That was
sir.
a great time. But if you were in my position and I was in yours, what would your advice be, like, what would you want me to say to you
What would
if you went through that? When you went through that, what would you want me to say to you?
if you know somebody that's going through something like this, all you got to do, if you do love them, don't lie and say you love them, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that's bad. You know when you're loved. If you do love them, though, and they know you love them, tell them you love them. That's a powerful word. Tell them you'll be there for them. Just make that known. Ask them if they need to see somebody, like if they want you to come over. Like, talking in person's a million times better than talking over the phone. A million times better than texting.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Like, the value of having actual human interaction where you're looking at them in the eye, that is unbeatable. So just offer all the support you can. And if they don't want it, accept that, but continue to reach out and be like, look, I'm here. But if they don't start getting better, that's when you might be like, hey, like let's just go out. Like, maybe just go to their house and be like, hey, let's go out. Don't push it too hard, but make it known that you do love them and you are there for them.
Okay.
Because they need to know that.
Yeah.
They do need to know that.
So there's also the acceptance stage in grief,
There is acceptance.
and we know that you have to come to that point.
Mhm.
And from what we are hearing, it sounds like you have kind of just accepted
Oh,
everything.
I have you can't put 100% on anything, but I'd put it at 99%. I have accepted it. I've definitely not moved on. I will never move on from that. She will always have a place in my heart, always have a place in my mind. I will never forget her. But I have accepted that it has happened to me, and there's nothing I can do to change that. So I just try to live every day, do what I can to be happy, do things that make me happy, surround myself with people that make me happy. I go to school, I go to work, I get my stuff done, I watch TV just like everybody else, and I live my life. Like, life has not severely been thrown off course. Definitely plans have changed, but plans change all the time. Mm-hmm. It's just something you have to deal with and keep moving along.
right.
And that's way easier said than done. Trust me. But it is possible. It's possible. With a few good buddies and a good family, I feel like it's possible.
So for people who don't exactly have the best friend group or the best
Yes.
support system, what kind of advice would you give them? Like, how did you cope on your own in that way?
Coping on my own, like I said, I have fairly strong mental health. So I consider myself, a lot of people probably differ. I consider myself a fairly intelligent person. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to walk myself through, like, it's okay that you're feeling this way because it's normal. It's okay that you're thinking these things because it's normal. But I understand some people can't do that. They don't have the ability to sit down and tell themselves that because some people just act on emotion immediately. And I would just say professional help, it sounds scary, like a therapist or something like that, or psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. But why not give it a shot? Like, I'm sure, or talk to your school counselor. Counselors are good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had to personally talk to one about my problems, but if I did, I would try to open up because they're there to help. That's their job. That's literally in their job description.
Yeah. That's good advice.
They want nothing but the best for you. In some cases, I understand they might not, but I think in our community, they do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is a lot better because we have a small school too.
Yeah.
I'm sure multiple people probably did go to the counselor about their issues. Especially a lot of people in band and like color guard, they're really close with her. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure
And that's
they
dope.
dealt with a
That's
lot.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because that's what they're there for. They're there for us. And a lot of teachers, honestly, too.
Teachers are a great support system.
Right.
Teachers
We
are a
got
great
some
support system.
great teachers in our school.
Like Woodlatch is great at, but the Schraders are also fantastic.
Schraders,
They're great people.
Oh, yeah.
Love them.
Oh, I love Mr. and Mrs. Schrader. I miss them a lot.
I know.
I miss them a lot. Tell them I said hi.
I will. We will. Maybe they can hear
Yeah,
this.
hopefully they're listening.
I hope.
Well, Sam, we appreciate you coming on. This is, it's a long time in the making, honestly, because
No, it's been a few weeks.
It's been a few weeks. We had a plan like 3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
to do this.
Covis.
COVID messed up. Equipment messed up. Equipment was going on. Like, there was a lot of things that are blocking this, and we appreciate you making the time to come on, and we're thankful that you came on, for real.
It's not one problem at all. I would just like to thank you guys for having me on. It means a lot that you value my opinion and story as much as you do to even ask me to come on to something like this. I think what you guys are doing is amazing because I don't know another set of 3 18-year-old boys that want to get on a podcast and talk about mental health. Like, that's strong. That's powerful. And you're sending a powerful message with that. and I hope you guys continue keeping on with this because there's a lot of people that are gonna be listening to this. Like you said, you had 6th graders listening to that,
Yeah.
and that's very heartwarming. I'm sure it is. Like that's wholesome.
It definitely
I
means a
love
lot
that.
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've had people come on. I mean, they've taught. Like, I remember it was after our basketball game, and there was a group of girls came up, and it was after we dropped the first episode, and they came on. And they just said like, they said they've never related to something like that, and they were crying listening to it because it was so real. to
Exactly.
them.
I mean, it is real. These are real. We are real people dealing with real problems. We're not making.
Right.
You guys aren't making $1 million off dropping this. You guys
No.
aren't.
No, sir.
You guys aren't. I'm not making $5 million just for coming on to your show. This is real life stuff, real life problems, real life people.
There's a lot of
talking about
heart
it.
Yeah.
in what we're doing. Really,
Yeah.
like this means a lot to us.
It takes a lot of heart for you to come on to. You have no
Yeah.
clue how many people
Yeah.
wanted to hear your story.
I
'cause
mean, no.
a lot of people didn't know you.
And
I know a
Sam,
lot of
that.
people don't know me. And trust me. I mean, I'm a loudmouth, but I mean, I never was the one that was going around introducing myself. Like I said, small circle. But
Yeah.
I'm so glad you could come on. You're one of the best guys I know. You got a great heart.
I appreciate that. I do have a good heart. I
You
promise.
do.
I only want the best for everybody.
I know.
I only want the best for everybody.
Well, we also need a note. Before we came on, we told Sam limited cussing, and you have killed it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
zero
yes,
cuss
yes,
words.
killed it.
You haven't even
Absolutely.
thought about it, have you?
Zero cuss words. I almost did it a couple times.
You know what? You held it back.
No, don't
That's
cuss,
really
kids.
good.
Don't cuss. Don't
not
cuss.
good
It's
for
not
you.
good. It's not good. There's no point. There's words though, by the way.
Throw that in there.
But no, I can't thank you guys enough. I really do appreciate it. It was a great time. It was a lot easier talking than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Yeah, we were nervous,
yeah,
man. Like we were prepping for this, and we were like, we didn't know what to say. You know.
No, I mean, I understand. I mean, how are you supposed to talk to somebody that's been through something like that?
Yeah.
That's why people are telling me that they don't understand how I'm dealing with it, and I'm like, I don't understand how you guys are reaching out to me, because if it was me and one of my buddies was going through what I went through, I would freeze up and be like, what do I say? How do I go about this?
Yeah.
I would. Before I texted you, I was talking to Tyler about
Yeah,
it.
we were in Miss Guernsey's
Yeah,
class or
in
something talking
Miss
about
Guernsey's
it.
class. I was like, Ty, I don't know what to say to him.
Yeah,
I
no,
felt like
it is tough, and I understand that because I tried to look at it from people's point of view because I knew everybody was going to be texting me and telling me they're sorry, and I was like, all right, I don't want to get mad at them because they mean well. Everybody
Yeah.
means well. So I sat back and I was like, how would you approach it, Sam? And you're like, well, you wouldn't know what to say. So I'm like,
No.
they don't know what to say, so they're just typing up what they think sounds good, and all I can appreciate is the thought that went into that.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's what I appreciate.
I hate saying I'm sorry because like I'm sorry like sometimes doesn't have a very good meaning. Like I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm not gonna talk to you about it again. Like to make
Yeah.
it known that you care, it's really hard, especially for someone like we're not the closest. Like if you had all your problems, you would not go to me first. So it's kind of hard just to like jump into someone and be like, I'm always here if you need anything, because most of the time you're not gonna reach out and talk to me.
I mean, yeah, it is tough to say something like that because, yeah, people do throw that around like I'm always here. But knowing that if stuff did get bad enough and you don't have your normal people to go to, it's nice to know that there are people out there that would even take time to put that message out like, I am here for you.
yeah.
Like, if you do need it. And I'm like, that's cool. Because I had a lot of people say that I don't normally talk to. Like, I've talked to you more than a lot of people that said that to me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how about that? But
Right.
it is hard to think about, like, if you were really going through it, talking to somebody that you never talked to about your problems.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people might have to do that.
Yeah.
They might, it
Yeah,
just
like
takes
with the counselors and a therapist or something, it's hard. But like
it just takes one sweet, kind-hearted person to talk to you about it to make you feel better, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
one person. Yeah.
Expressing what you're feeling, what your thoughts are, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where you do really come to your conclusion and start feeling better.
I don't think people understand, like, when we were prepping for this, like, the minute that you walked in while we were prepping, like, the whole mood just changed. Like, I think we just got so much more relaxed, man. Like,
you walked in
there was
laughing,
so
I
much
had a-
stress, and it was just like,
No, dude. I don't want to stress anybody out because I'd be stressing hard all the time. I know that feeling. I don't want to be stressing you guys out. Trust me.
yeah.
You just gotta relax and go with it. We had a good conversation. Good
Oh,
conversation.
it was
Great
good.
conversation.
Like we said, we appreciate you coming on. Maybe it wasn't easy. Maybe it was easy. We don't know.
Oh, it was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. You
Good.
boys made me
It
feel
was a
very
lot easier than
comfortable.
we thought, too, I
You
think.
boys
so.
made me feel very
Yeah,
comfortable.
a lot of people like we talked to Wade about it. He did not think you were gonna come on and like be able to discuss how you felt, because a normal person would lie about it. I probably lied about how I was feeling
too.
and how I coped.
Well, yeah. No, there's no point in lying. I mean,
It happens.
I went through it. I mean, nobody can sit out there and tell me what I was feeling is wrong,
Right.
just because it's me. I'm my own person.
Yeah.
So I felt what I felt. You can't tell me that it was wrong or false or not true because you're not me. But I will just say, if you are going through something like this, if you know somebody that's dealing with depression, mental health issues, suicidal thoughts, just be there for them. Try to get them help because if there's even a hint of it, just try to get them help because there's not a lot of warning signs in my opinion. There's not. You get taught all these warning signs in high school. Do you not? Like, I don't know. If
Yeah,
still
we
do.
do.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
only a year removed from it, but I just
Right.
don't know. You get taught all these warning signs, and I'm sorry, but there was not one single one that I ever saw. And
It's hard to see when you're in love like that.
yeah, you
Like,
just got to be on top of things. Like, you just really gotta kind of just know. I guess I don't know. It's hard. Just be nice to people. That's the only message I want to leave everybody with, because you don't know how one smile or one "what's up," one just checking in is gonna affect their day. They could be having the worst
Right.
day of their life, and you text them and say, "How you doing? I miss you," and that could just
Turn it around.
turn it around. I mean, put a smile on their face immediately.
Yeah.
I know, like, certain people text me and I smile because I'm like, dang, they're thinking about me. How about that? You know, it just makes your heart feel warm.
Me
But
too. Me too.
I think it's also important just to let people know, like, the theme of this podcast is like, it's like you're not alone, and I think it's important to tell people that are going through things like it's okay, one, to not be okay. Like,
Of course,
it's
yes.
it's definitely okay, and you're not alone. Like, I'm here for you. You have other people, I'm sure, around you that are there for you. So I think that's also a major thing that's needed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just got to remember everybody's got their own way of dealing with stuff, too. So
Yep.
if somebody's having a bad day and they're in a bad mood, maybe don't give them grief for that. Don't be mad at them for, being upset, because that can make it worse.
Yeah. Agreed.
Another thing I'd like to add, just because,
Yeah.
everybody's been there.
Yeah. Everybody.
But,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Sam.
No
Yes,
problem
Sam,
thank
whatsoever.
you.
Yeah, you
Hey,
killed it,
no
dude.
problems. Great time.
So thank you guys for listening once again. The second episode, having Sam on was definitely a huge success for us, I think. But we got important dates coming on, so we just want to talk about those really quick.
February 12th, come to the Henryville boys basketball game. It's going to be a great game. And we're also having Mental Health Awareness Night.
also senior night.
As senior night, yeah, as well as senior night. So please come to that. Please show out. We'd love to see everybody there.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge deal, definitely. And then March 2nd is the Henryville Tornado anniversary as well. But Memphis Christian Church is going to be putting on a mental health night at their church that night. March 2nd, they're going to be having some different booths of just like professionals coming in, different people. And they asked us, the podcast, to come out there, put a booth on. And we don't know what we're going to do yet. We don't really have an idea of that. We got some time to plan and stuff. But we are looking forward to going there and having a booth just for people to talk. We might do live podcasts. We don't know what we're going to do, really. But we hope you guys come to that as well as the basketball game. So March 2nd, Memphis Christian Church, they're having a mental health night. So we hope you guys show up to that as well.
Yeah, just to really wrap things up with you, our first episode was a huge success. The amount of support we had, the amount of people we had sharing things, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was really one of the coolest things to see 50 posts on Snapchat sharing our podcast and people telling us how amazing it was. We had people from 6th grade all the way up to, honestly, 56-year-olds telling us
Right,
how much
yes.
they loved it.
And it's encouraging.
It's so encouraging. Like, they make us want to do better. And we got a lot of good advice from people.
Yep.
So feel free to reach out and give us advice. We're not going to take it as negativity because we're completely willing to learn. We're 17, 18-year-olds that don't
new
really
to
know
this,
a
yeah.
whole lot of things. So
So
we just
we're
want to thank you
yeah,
all.
like Tyler said, we're excited for the future. We have some exciting episodes in the future that we're going to be talking about. I think we're going to do one more episode over grief to have someone come on and talk about that. And then we're going to wrap it up on the grief series and move on to something else. We're going to be making a post about that here soon. But we're going to have a lot of guests come on and talk about just what they've been through, and we're excited about that. So we hope that you guys keep on and giving us the support that we need. Share it, post it everywhere.
Yep,
and
blow it up.
Yeah, blow it up again. You don't know who this can help and who this can reach. We're not doing this for our benefit, but we're just doing this to help other people, so other people can, know that they're not alone. and whatever they're going through. So we hope that you guys continue the support, share it, post it. Follow us on Instagram. You can look us up, Rise Above Podcast. And, there's also our phone numbers in there. An email, if you guys need to talk to somebody, we're there for you guys. So
All right.
I wanna
Thanks for
say
listening.
Thank you. All right.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.